just crammed 10,000 hours of LinkedIn lead generation learnings into 7 simple laws that anybody can understand. And I'm going to walk you through them in this video. So I analyzed thousands of DMs, thousands of LinkedIn posts, and after building systems for over 120 clients, I've uncovered 7 simple laws that anyone can follow to basically generate leads on demand on LinkedIn. They are the distribution law, the authority law, the personalization law, the minimum effort law, the expectation law, the value exchange law, and the social proof law. It's probably the most important one for last. And even one you can use correctly, so you'll never need to worry about where your next client is. Once you nail this, you'll never worry about getting clients again. So let's get into them. So the distribution law says that content alone is not enough. You don't want to just post and hope. Content without outreach is like a store with no signs on the front saying where they are. You need to post your content, but you need to go out and make sure that people are actually seeing it. The people who you know are actually seeing it, who you want to see it, are actually seeing it. The way to do that is to pair it with outreach. You get your content shared directly into the inbox of the people who you need to see it, and when they see it, that's when the trust starts to build. So this works because your brain pays special attention that something is made just for you. So for example, a post in the timeline is one thing, but if you deliver it to a person and say, hey, I wrote this post you might find useful, then it's like, okay, so this is definitely relevant for me, so they're more likely to pay attention to it. And I've done this to start hundreds of conversations with qualified leads. Don't just wait for the content to get to the people, give it to them. Next is the authority law. So outreach alone isn't enough. I said before, content isn't. Outreach alone isn't enough either, because people just don't trust you. If they've never seen you before and you just pop into their inbox, likelihood is they're not going to trust you. Or at least when they go on your profile, then they just see an egg profile photo and no posts or no proof or no nothing. They're not going to put any authority in you, and then they're probably not going to respond. So conversely, when you're posting a lot and you have lots of followers and lots of engagement and lots of proof on your timeline, so that when you send an outreach message to someone, they go onto your profile, they see, oh, this person looks interesting, there's a much higher chance that they'll actually outreach. And the reason this works is because it makes you stand out from all the other people who are pitching them in the DMs, because I think only 2% of people on LinkedIn actually post on the timeline. So by posting, you're putting yourself in the top 2% there straight away. It's such an easy win. The next one is the personalization law. So different audiences need different approaches. There's no one cookie cutter, do this 5 steps and it'll work across the board. Although some gurus may make you think that, every position and every offer and every target market needs a slightly different approach. So the same messaging won't work for big companies or small companies, or companies in cybersecurity compared to marketing agencies, or if you're selling to a sales director or a COO. It all requires different approaches that suit better to the different person who you're reaching out to. So for example, when I helped a company recently start being more personalized to the job title who they're going after, because they're going after big company CMOs and also small company founders. So the results were poor because they were saying the same thing to both of them. But for the big company, we split them, the messaging. So for the big company CMOs and the small business owners, they did research on both and created specific messaging for both. So rather than try and put them all into one campaign, we split it into 2. The results were much better in both straight off the bat. The reason for that is because the messaging was tailored to them and tailored to their problems specifically, because a CMO thinks differently to a founder. They're more worried about getting more out of the marketing spend, whereas the business owner actually just wants to be more profitable and revenue growth and so on. So consider this when you're doing it. The minimum effort law. So half efforts get 0 results. You need to spend the time on LinkedIn to make it work. And that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be you, but someone in your business needs to do 5 to 7 hours work per week. The system that we help people set up requires the founder or the person of authority to spend about 1 hour, and then the rest of the process is systemized, like scheduling the content, drafting the posts, and so on and so forth, and doing all the commenting and DMs as well as an option. But if you're spending, someone has to put the effort in, and if someone doesn't put the effort in, you're not going to get the results. The reason for that is it's long-term commitment that gets outsized results on LinkedIn, because your efforts compound. Your content starts to work more regularly, your outreach becomes more effective the longer you stay around, and then when the buying window is open with people who now know you on LinkedIn, they're going to come to you. So that's how you make LinkedIn work over the long term. The expectation law. So again, different industries and targets have different success rates. So you'll see online a lot of people saying book 15 to 20 meetings per month with blah blah blah. That will not work with all industries because on who you're targeting. So take for example two clients that I work with. One is targeting e-commerce brands. There's hundreds and thousands of those in the world. Another is targeting commercial landlords who own 10 or more shopping centers, investment firms who own 10 or more shopping centers. Naturally, there's way less of these, and so you're not going to be able to book 15 to 20 meetings because there's only about 3,000 of them in the world. But saying that, the target market, you're selling a lot higher, a lot more specific solution in that case, so you're able to charge more. Whereas for e-commerce brands and so on, there's a lot more competition, so you have to be more price sensitive and so on. So different results look different and success rates look different in different niches. So consider that based on who you're targeting. The value exchange law. So the whole point of content is to give away values and use it to educate the people on what you do, but imply that you are someone who they can trust. So it's all about building implicit trust. So when I'm saying, like if you think about two pieces of content, one is how to get leads, 100 leads a month with Google Ads, that's one. So that's you're sharing value, but there's no real implied trust built into that, except for I can be a parrot and I can get that information on YouTube and put it on LinkedIn. Whereas here's how I helped an accountant get 125 leads in the last 30 days using Google Ads. So that's also the same how-to guide because it talks through the steps, but it has a lot of authority and trust built in. So you're educating them on the process and you're building implied trust, and that's how you can turn content into clients. And then there's finally probably the most important one is the social proof law. So other people's praise beats self-promotion. So what others say about you matters more than what you say about yourself. So rather than saying, I'll help you get XYZ per month, something along the lines of, we just helped another brand in your niche get XYZ, or we've already worked with 50 clients who do this and they've got XYZ. So you don't need to telling people what to do or claiming what you're going to do for them. Just let your background speak for themselves if you have that luxury. And if you don't have that luxury, build it. Every single step, use yourself as proof if you're doing the thing for yourself, if that's possible. But start with the smallest amount of proof that you can, whether it's, you're getting your first client and you're like, oh, I just ran a campaign that got 7 leads for them last week. Talk about that in your content. Use that as your social proof and layer it over time. But if you do have the luxury, if you have 100 clients and you're working with 50 active clients, you want to be drawing as much social proof from that as possible, because the law of social proof is probably the most important one of them all. When people are unsure about a decision, they don't want to listen to the salesperson talking to them, which is what you become. They want to listen to the people around them and people who they can trust, who don't have skin in the game, and they want to see what their experiences are like. So share them, use them to your advantage, and you'll be very successful on LinkedIn. So yeah, I spent a lot of time on LinkedIn, tried hundreds and dozens of different strategies, and I tried to boil it all down to the 7 things that matter the most, which I've done in this. Hopefully you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you need help building your LinkedIn strategy and you want to book 1 to 5 calls every day on LinkedIn and you're a marketer, click the link on this page somewhere to book a call. I look forward to helping you do that. Thanks very much. Cheers.